In my last video, I said, if you guys want to suggest a manga for me and for me to talk about, make sure to leave it in the comments down below. So, that's what I did. Now, there weren't many requests to go off of since there were only 24 comments, but there was one comment that stood out to me and suggested I read the manga called Rose and Garden Saga. This was a series that sounded really familiar to me, but I couldn't quite remember what it was. And the comment also added to my curiosity, saying it was the best, worst manga, and even compared it to One Punch Man. So how could I not give it a try? And after reading it, I will say I don't think weird was the right word to describe this manga. Also, if you guys want to recommend a manga for me to read, then leave a comment with the series you think I should give a try. Also, leave a like. Leave a like! Chapter 1 starts off with a... Why is this how this starts? I can't show any of this! They did a berserk. That's how this manga starts. This video is gonna get demonetized almost immediately. When I tell you that there is only like 20% of chapter 1 that I can actually talk about without insinuating anything or without going into any details, like I have no idea how I am going to talk about anything. Well, might as well try. This is our main character, Lynn, who is a girl. Whoa! That doesn't happen often. Thank you. Thank you, Rose and Saga Garden. Very progressive. Round of applause for Rose and Garden Saga. This is the last time I'm going to give a round of applause for this manga. Lynn lives in a village who is protected by the hero Siegfried, who was the guy having a friendly gathering at the beginning. Yes, this is the best phrase I could think as a replacement. And Lynn has something in common with every weeb out there. She's a virgin. And after realizing this, Lynn has a mental breakdown and tries to sleep her sorrows away, only to be interrupted by a creepy old man looking at her window. Now, let me ask you guys a question real quick. What is this old man going to do to Lynn? Is it A, peek through her window for reasons, B, break in and attack her, C, kill her, or D, try to kidnap her? And if you picked any of those, you're wrong, because he came to tell her that the village is being attacked. Also, he is being railed in the ass while this is happening. Hey, commenter, sorry to call you out like this, but what is this? So the village is being attacked, so Lynn does the most rational thing someone can do in this situation and runs the fuck away and starts being chased by some of the raiders and stumbles upon a sword, which turns out to be the hero Siegfried's sword, and has the power to turn a person the opposite gender. What the actual hell am I reading? And that's not all. The sword also happens to have Siegfried's soul in it, and he's able to take over Lynn's body Anubis style and kick ass with her body. Oh yeah, she also grows a dick. Once again, no more details. You can connect the dots, what happens here after this scene is done. Once Lynn is done cuddling and kicking some more ass, she goes back to the village and sees that the rest of the villagers have been saved by a group of Valkyries. Wow, I actually spelled that right the first try. Good job, me. And Lynn ends up falling in love with Brynhilder, the leader of the Valkyries, who tells her if she wants to join her, she will have to go to the Rose Garden and see if she is worthy of joining her. I did not spell it right this time, by the way. This had to be one of the most wild chapter 1s I have ever read in my entire life. I haven't been this shocked and confused reading something in the longest time. Like, the last time I felt this was like when I first started reading JoJo, and even then I wasn't even that shocked. And trust me, that feeling is not gonna go away. I felt that way the entire time reading this. As an example, let me just talk about the characters real quick, because every single one of them is so badass, but they're all so stupid. And it took me a while to realize this, but all the characters are named after real-life heroes, and we'll get to some of them later. Brynhilder is a badass stoic Valkyrie, but also loses her shit whenever she sees a man, so she has to have a limiter in her eyes to nerf herself. Lynn is probably the most normal out of everyone, but that's saying a lot because she is just as ornery as everyone else. She's also the most level-headed character in this manga. Siegfried, who is the person inside Lynn's sword, is an absolute unit of a human being who has the power to change the gender of anything. And I mean anything. And he does this to have cuddle sessions with them because they never had cuddle sessions before. Degenerate, I think I'm saying that name right, is a prince and is also a masochist. And no, I am not talking about your basic bitch boy masochist. I mean, this man gets off by literally dying. Like, he is so masochistic that he became the tankiest character in this entire manga, that he took an entire dragon breath blast, and instead of coming out injured, he came. Like he fucking nutted. His sword also feeds off his energy, and becomes huge depending on how much energy he has. And while I'm on the topic of the prince, this man has no reason to be such a badass. He also has some of the best fights in this entire manga. He is so creepy too, by the way. Some of these shots are so cool, dude. This is also where I say that he's one of my favorite characters in this entire series. And that his character design reminds me of Sir Pico from Berserk. What can I say? I love me some scuffed ass characters. Then we have the two dragon lollies. Yes, there are lollies in this manga. And actually, I am not going to go in any details about these two. Like at all. We're just gonna move on. And this is the main cast of characters from like going into the tournament. And if none of these seem interesting to you or none of these tickle your fancy, then to all my idol fans, this manga has idols. So to all my Hololive fans, there's your reason to read this. And to all the femboy enjoyers out there, the idols are all actually dudes. And the main person is Arthur Pendragon. And if that sounds familiar to you, that's because that's Saber from Fate, like the main Saber. So they made Saber into a femboy, and he is extremely strong. He is one of the strongest characters in this entire manga. Actually, all three of these fuckers are some of the strongest. Okay, that's literally just Saber's noble phantasm, bro. And their manager is just the letter P. Ha 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 ha. Get it? He's a P because that's what people call idol managers. And then we have Orochi. Okay, so hot. And if you thought Zoro was the only three-sword style user in manga, then let me introduce you to Beowulf. He has to be one of the most badass characters in this series. So does he fight like Zoro and put his sword in his mouth? No. His third sword is his dick. If this guy looks familiar to you as well and have maybe heard about this manga, then it's probably because of this panel, because I remember seeing this on Twitter and being so confused on why this man's meat is so goddamn big. They say it's 2 human being sizes, like, in length. It's so big that he pierces monsters with it and kills them. Beowulf is also able to break the sound barrier with his dick and uses it like a fucking railgun. Like, I don't even try to understand this manga anymore. I would love to see all the power scalers try to power scale Beowulf, because this man's meat is so strong, he can destroy a sword with it. I also hate the fact that Beowulf has the best fight in this entire manga of one of the idols. I was so invested in this fight, I became desensitized to seeing his dick, which is something that's going to also happen to you if you read this. And seeing the type of series this is, you would expect some boring or just bad art. But no, the art is so good for no reason at all. The art has no reason to go this hard. Did you get it? I made a pun because it's a lot of dick. The art is dynamic. It's creepy at times. The visual gags are great. And yes, the manga's art is One Punch Man level, surprisingly. Honestly, the more I think about it, I read this manga, caught up to it fully, and still decided to make a video on it. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to show half the shit that's going on in this manga. Why did I decide to make this video? I can't even show anything. This is arguably one of the best tournament manga I have ever read in my life. Oh, I forgot to mention that this is a tournament manga. But it also annoys me because this is just a big PP manga. Why is it so good, bro? I am more invested in this than I was with Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, why? The fights are next level. The art is phenomenal, and it's actually funny. Whether that's because the humor is good or the fact that it's just so absurd that it becomes funny. But I have no idea. But all I know is that PP go brr. I will say, though, if you don't like sexual humor, then you probably won't like this manga at all. Actually, just avoid this manga like the plague, if that's the case, because some of this shit's kind of questionable. I will tell you one thing about this manga. If you think you have any idea where the story's gonna go, or who's gonna win any of the fights, then I'll tell you right now, no. Don't even bother, because you will most likely not even be close to the actual outcome. Even the setting of this manga is really cool. It's a fantasy world, but there are so many elements from our modern times. Like the fact that there are idols in this manga. They also make fun of idol culture as well, which I think is pretty funny. The Persian team has modern technology, whether it's drones, VR headsets, phones with AI, and is that a fucking Hammer of Dawn? Each character also has their unique power. One of the idols feeds off the sun's energy. One of the characters resorts to terrorism. Someone turns into a literal magical girl and a Power Ranger. And some people just keep using their dicks as weapons. Oh yeah. Nano machines. I can't do the voice. The plot also feels like it's going somewhere, since, you know, most ecchi and raunchy manga like this just focus on the fan service and nothing else. The characters actually have depth, surprisingly, and some even go through whole character arcs during their fights. Like how these two powered up because they lost their virginity. Once again, this manga is the dumbest shit I've ever read in my life. Which is, funny, because I will probably still most likely read this manga as the new chapters come out as well. I'm in this shit now. Wait, I just realized this manga starts off like Berserk. Dietrich looks like Sir Pico from Berserk. Lin gets taken over by Siegfried, much like the Berserker armor, and the setting is a fantasy world like Berserk. This manga is just Berserk, but with even more sex and with jokes. Alright, that's all I'm probably going to be able to talk about, since if I continue talking about this, I think my channel will get orbital striked off the face of the internet. Even though I say that, I feel like I'm already pushing it just by simply talking about this manga. Whatever. If you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe, or else Beowulf will... Okay, nope, I'm not saying that. Yeah, hope you guys have a good day and or a night, and see ya.